Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Ammar and I am from Malaysia. I'm very happy to be invited as a keynote speaker from Malaysia today by UTM as a co-host. And I'm very happy despite being just a video recording to all of you today, but the least is that I can spread my message to you guys, okay? So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. And secondly, I hope that you guys would stick around in order for you to guys to listen to my message. And I think it's very important, not just for the theme of the program today, which is the future that we want, all right? Priorities of SDG, engaged community. Okay, not just that, but also for the fact that I do hope indeed that I would be enlightening you on how we as youth could make a change, all right, towards the community and also towards the world, okay? So time in and time out, I've always talked about, things concerning about environment, leadership, careers and so forth. But today, I'll be focusing on the things that I think is important for us youth to make sure that we can uplift the spirit of these SDG, okay? So as you guys know, we might feel that, everyone do understand what SDG is all about, but the truth of the matter is that not everyone would have the same mindset like us that would know what SDG is, okay? So we have to be aware that the public outside will not be well versed in terms of this goal that was set in terms of getting the world to be sustainable, all right? Not just in terms of environment, but also in terms of economy and also the social sustainability, all right? So we have to make sure that, within ourselves, we have this goal, guys, okay? We have this, mission, if I could say it that way. We have this mission in order for us to spread the words clearly to the public in our community in order for us to uplift this spirit of SDG, okay? So how can we do that? Okay, so I will share with you some tips that I think, all right, this is my personal own idea, that I think we can all do in order for us to do that, okay? Because, I don't know about you, but for me personally, I have thought, back in those days when I was small, why am I living on this earth? Okay, have you ever thought about that? All right. So if you guys have thought about that similarly as me, then you would know that, there must be a greater meaning why you are here. All right, why I am here in this case. Okay, so when I was small and I was thinking of this idea or this question indeed, and then, it came to me that through history, all right, through history, a lot of times history changed because of that one person, okay? So let's look at history of how COVID started, for example. So it started by that one person who got infected, and somehow it spread tremendously worldwide and caused massive death indeed, all right? So something that we are very sad about, but history shows us that only that one person really creates this massive pandemic, all right, in this case. So with that having said, guys, if we could relate, okay, if we could relate to this, to this story of how COVID started by that one person, then I do believe that we as a human being, as a person, would be able to make a change by ourselves, okay? Which means that us individually can make a change towards many, all right? So with this having said, guys, the idea of spreading the message of good sustainable environment, community, and economy needs to happen only if we are able to be a leader within our surrounding, all right? So leadership, as everybody knows, is not something that we are born with, okay? It's something that we need to nurture ourselves, all right? So let's say, for example, I am an entrepreneur. Initially, I was working with a company, and later on, I feel that I need to change, my life, and I jumped to be an entrepreneur. And later on, I developed my leadership skills. Okay, the reason why I had to, because I need to, present myself well in front of the clients, in front of the authorities, in front of all the people as the stakeholders that I'm dealing with. All right. So with that having said, the skill of being a leader in itself is something that we can all train to be, okay? If you guys out there who are, timid, who are, shy in speaking out, in, releasing your ideas, trust me guys, I am just like you when I was, at where you are right now. Okay, so when I developed myself later on, I started to think that if I were lucky to hear me myself talking right now in front of me in the past, I would be able to have this kind of mindset, and that's what I'm trying to give you today. Okay, I'm trying to give you some tips for you to think outside of the box and outside of the things that you can actually apply and you can actually be, which is a leader. Okay, so regardless whichever background that you are, don't worry and don't think that your background could impact who you can be in the future, which is a good leader. All right, so in order for us to disseminate information, to change the world, to make sure that we can send out our message, right guys, we have to make sure that we can be a figure that people can look up to. All right, so number one guys, you have to be a good leader, and to be a good leader, I will share with you some qualities on how you can do that, because of course, people always say that being a leader is not easy. Yes, it is not easy, but you can actually train yourself to do so in order for you to develop your skills. Okay, so number one guys, in order for you to be a good leader, you have to have an open mind of the people that you are interacting with. Okay, so please have the mindset that not all the people that you deal with would have the same mindset as you. Okay, which means that different people would have different opinions. Okay, that's logic in the world. Okay, you cannot expect people to have the same idea as you, to follow you exactly 100%. So some people would actually have their own ideas, which a leader would need to nurture these ideas and make it as an actionable plan in order for us to execute whatever that we want. Okay, in this case, to make sure that the public and the community duly understand what SDG is all about. Okay, the second quality of a leader, besides knowing the fact that everybody is not the same as them, number two is that you really have to have the capability to hear others first. Okay, so one thing that I heard recently about Nelson Mandela, a figure that we all know, is that his beginning as a leader started through his father, where his father is a tribe leader, and his father, when it comes to a meeting with his tribe members, he is always the person who speaks the last. Okay, so this is somewhat like a wisdom to all of us, because as a leader we should listen to all these ideas, and then, like I mentioned in the first place, we need to pull out these ideas and make it as an executionable plan. Okay, so without listening guys, you are not able to be a leader, because leaders are supposed to collect and to gather up or to groom up these good people in order for us leaders to create more leaders. Okay, so this is something that you guys need to know. Okay, so number three guys, in order for you to be a good leader, you really need to communicate. Okay, so communication is really utmost important. Okay, the reason why I clap is to make sure that you guys are not sleeping there. All right, so you guys have to understand that being a leader needs a communication skill involved in you. Okay, so that is to me the utmost important skill, not just to be a good leader guys. You have to have the communication skill in order for you to succeed in your careers. Okay, because communication is all about us as human beings to be socialized with each other and to deliver the right message to one another. Okay, so it is very important, because the wrong message that you send, the wrong communication signal that you send, would give off the wrong idea to the other person that you are talking to. Okay, so make sure guys that you know how to really communicate, and let me just share with you some tips on how you can develop your communication skill. Okay, so this is some skills that I developed myself on my own, and I would really love to share it, as I would love to spread it when I have the opportunity to talk. Okay, so the number one thing that I did when I was at the university guys is that I really really talk to myself in front of the mirror. Okay, so the only thing that I think for us as a communicator is that we need to see ourselves how we communicate. Okay, that's very important, because it's not just the words that you throw out, it's actually the expression that you use in order for you to send out the message. All right, so if you are just static like that and just talking without being without having any soul into your speech in this case, then people will not be budging towards, your ideas in this case, right? But if you were to be excited, if you were to be, expressive in your speech, then, you could really see the difference when people really take up that message of yours. Okay, so please guys, if you have the capability, and I'm sure that everyone has this, you just speak in front of the mirror. And the least is that, because now we have smartphones. During my time, we don't have these cameras like this, so we have smartphones in our pockets, so we can actually, open up our smartphones and see ourselves the way that we speak. Okay, because the way that we speak to other person would be actually telling them our characters. Okay, so in this case, if you want to be a good speaker, you please record yourself, or look at how you communicate, and then you try to develop yourself to speak better than what you are now. Maybe, for example, maybe when you see yourself, you think that you're not expressive enough, or you're not having the kind of body language that you should be, or you're not concrete enough to be confident enough in your message. All right, so all of this you can actually see by yourself. Okay, so the second thing that you can do is actually to speak in front of the people. But I think a lot of people not wanting to do that because they are shy in the first place, right? So better that you look at yourself and you talk to yourself in order for you to see yourself and how you express your speech. Okay, so the second thing that you can do, guys, in order for you to speak and communicate well, is that you try to speak your intonation, or you try to practice your intonation on the way that you throw out your sound. Okay, so this is very important. And the reason why, because when you deliver a message, you really want that other person to understand, right? That's the function of you delivering that message in the first place, correct? So the only way to do that, guys, is that by throwing the right amount of sound. Okay, and that is done by practice. Okay, that is done by practice. Okay, so you really need to know your intonation of level of voice, because some people, when they talk, really, when they talk, at the end of it, they tend to be mumbling at themselves. Okay, like, okay, you cannot hear me right now, right? So some people are like that. So if you could actually audit yourself and the way that you talk and the way the speech that you gave, then you might be able to identify it early, so that you can deliver that message well in the future. Okay, so remember that, guys. Okay, try to develop a good intonation or good delivery of sound, so that the other person could hear you very clearly. Okay, so don't matter for you to throw out a bit of sound when you talk, as long as that message is loud and clear. All right, so number 3, guys, what you can do in order for you to improve your communication skill is actually to speak word by word. Okay, so this is very important, because a lot of times, regardless, us as Malaysians, or any parts of the world, we tend to think that if we speak fast English, or fast if we communicate fast, that would signify that we are a good communicator. Well, in fact, it's not. Okay, so if you want to be a good communicator, you have to speak clearly. And how can you speak clearly? By speaking it word by word. Okay, so this would be enabling you to basically, if you have not got a text, just like me today, if you not have a text, then you can actually speak it out of your mind. Okay, by having the control pace of speaking it out word by word. So this is the trick, guys, that you need to know in order for you to speak well. Okay, so the number 4 that you need to do in order for you to have a good communication in delivering your message, in this case, all right, is actually to make sure that you love to deliver them. Okay, so I always speak to everyone, okay, everyone that I meet, everyone that I have the opportunity to speak. If you don't enjoy what you do, in order for you to share this information of yours, you will not be able to speak well. Okay, so that's why you need to have a mindset. Okay, as a leader, as someone that wants to change the world, you need to love what you do in spreading the message. Okay, so to spread the good message is something that I think we as a Muslim should be glad to do, because that's going to be rewarding for us in the afterlife, right? So I'm sure that every religion would have that kind of concept, and this is something that we all should have in mind. Okay, so I hope that you guys can take up my points today, and I really enjoyed talking to you, although it was a short duration of time. But anyhow, I really love to be connected with you guys. So if you have a LinkedIn account, do link with me in my account here. And we can all share our values and ideas in order to make this world a better place. And do remember, guys, like I mentioned, no idea is small, no effort is small, and no you is small, because every small change will bring a big impact, especially to our environment, community, and also to our economy. Okay, so I really hope that you guys enjoy the 2-day program that you have installed. So until next time, do stay safe and do take care. And my name is Ammar, and I'm signing off from Malaysia. Thank you.